Ohio State versus Minnesota 2021 football prediction. Today I will be giving my prediction on the Ohio State and Minnesota game tonight. It happens at 8 o'clock, and I wanted to give my prediction on it really quickly. If you go to my last video where I predicted the entire season, I have this game as 42-21. And so I'm going to give that a little bit more in-depth explanation into that, while also I'll ask the question if Minnesota can actually upset Ohio State somehow, and points towards it, points against it, and all that. Why do I think that Ohio State will win this 42-21? Well, I feel like Ohio State won't come out strong. They will try to find a rhythm. They'll try to run the ball and try to find out what the weakness is of Minnesota. And Minnesota has a pretty good defense. Certainly not on the level of many of the top college football teams, but Minnesota does have a pretty good defense, and they're bringing the defense back. So I'll look for Ohio State to kind of feel them out. Maybe the first few drives you don't really get that much. And I think by halftime we may be seeing a one-score game either way. Whether that's Ohio State being down by 7 all the way up to Ohio State being up by 7. I think with everything, with new quarterback, with not knowing who your running back's going to be, you have Teague in there, but he doesn't seem to be the person Ohio State wants as their first string. He's definitely not the elusive back like that of J.K. Dobbins, Ezekiel Elliott was, and so Teague's more a hit the hole, make a cut, go, while you got Zeke and Dobbins, who are more elusive, breaking tackles and all that. So Ohio State's going to be trying to find their chemistry together. New quarterback that only played one snap last year. Now, granted, that one snap was for a touchdown on a run, but again, that was also without any people, and that's kind of one of my points I will get to later about this possibly being a Minnesota upset. But right now I have it as 42-21. Hopefully I don't have to come back here and talk about Ohio State losing, because last time that I talked about Ohio State upsetting someone, it ended up becoming my most viewed video. Which, hey, it would be good for me, but I really wouldn't want to do that because I like this team and I don't want to see them lose. But let's talk about losing. Let's talk about why there's a chance that Ohio State comes in this game and they fall flat. They come short. They lose the game. One reason is Ohio State's new quarterback. I just spoke about this, but obviously C.J. Stroud has played one snap last year, and he's never played in a college football stadium with fans in it. Last year, he never got that opportunity. He played one snap against, I think it was Michigan State, if I believe correctly, and you have no fans in the stands. So now you got a new quarterback going to try and go and play with much more noises than just the coaches and stuff. And I know that for many of these schools and stuff, they practice this. Here you have speakers and all that, but speakers that practice and all that to simulate the game. But I think once you get into the stands, it's completely different from that, even because it's in your mind that you got all these people watching, you got all this, and you have to perform. So I think C.J. Stroud is definitely up for the test. But we'll have to watch that tonight, so that's one of my points. The second point is that Ohio State has historically struggled when they play on the road against Big Ten West teams. You had Purdue, Iowa, and those types of games. Those games really were bad. Of course, the Iowa one was pretty bad, and I reacted to it, and that one somehow became my most popular video. And then the Purdue one was probably even worse than that, because it was just basically the quarterback throwing to one wide receiver, and I think he got for over 200, maybe 300 yards against Ohio State. So that's something to watch tonight, especially considering Ohio State has some holes that they need to find and stuff. So if Minnesota can pick up Ohio State's weakness, if there is one, that's where Minnesota could take advantage of that, and they could get ahead too much early that Ohio State won't be able to make up that ground later in the game. So I think that's one of the points, is that if Ohio State's going to try to feel them out early on, they definitely have to find it quick, or they have to make sure that the defense is ready to stop this Minnesota team, which is pretty good. They got a experienced quarterback and all that, but that's another point I'll talk about later in this video. The point that I made earlier with fans in the stands, obviously, you get fans, you get that mindset of I need to perform, and that's where you mess up. You start throwing interceptions, you start fumbling the ball, you try to do all you can, but you end up doing too much, or you try to be the hero, and that's a point that tonight that Ohio State kind of has to focus on. It's the team, and that you got all play together, and you got to find a playbook. You got to find what works. So, and if you are doing that with fans, especially saying that this game is away, it could lead to trouble. Because now not only do you have fans in the stands, you got fans that don't like you in the stands. So obviously, if these players don't come ready to play in the right mindset, it's a losing game. So Minnesota's a interesting team. They got a returning offensive line. Most of the defense is coming back, and they got a pretty good quarterback. Tanner Morgan, he's definitely a top 4, maybe top 5 quarterback in the Big Ten. And he can definitely mess up Ohio State. He's played Ohio State once or twice, so he may know more about how to play them, how to do this, how to do that, and that could go from him all the way down the line, from offense and defense, from what these coaches see to what the players have seen in the past. And so Minnesota has some experience. A lot of them have played multiple years, and so they have seen the transformation of Ohio State into a even a better team. And now the transition to Ryan Day and the past few years with him, with the new offense and the defense and all that, and the recruiting and all that. So I think that Minnesota may be more prepared, and if Minnesota comes more prepared for Ohio State, then we need to watch out for tonight's game. So also, tonight's a trap game. I know that trap games, a lot of times people talk about like, oh, trap games never exist, or coaches always tell you, okay, you need to focus on this game before you go on to the next game. It still gets in the head of players. Let's be honest. I made a video about one of the Ohio State players who said that they totally overlooked the team because they were looking at the next team, and they ended up losing that against that team that they were not paying attention to. So while we have the schedule that looks like, oh yeah, we should be 12-0. This game is probably one of the trap games. You got a decent opponent here, and then you talk about playing Oregon next week, and so you get places like, we that decided to play Oregon, and they're not paying attention to Minnesota, and Minnesota is decent. They could definitely rival Ohio State if Ohio State doesn't pay attention. So that's one of the points, is that Ohio State may overlook, and so I think that that's one of the reasons why Minnesota could pull off the upset here, and that's all the reasons Minnesota has an opportunity tonight to win. So now I will go through the reasons why Ohio State will not lose tonight. They will win, and they will win big time. Okay, first one. This is Ryan Day's team, not Urban Meyer's. This is a point that a lot of people have made past couple years, and that is that Ryan Day has done a better job at preparing Ohio State against these Big Ten teams, that they can beat Ohio State if Ohio State isn't prepared. Purdue, Iowa, Michigan State, Penn State, those types of teams. Ryan Day has, the past couple years, has had really great times preparing the players for games. The only games we've lost the past 2 years has been in the semifinal. We had the semifinal and then the national championship game last year. So Ryan Day has had a better time preparing his plays than Urban Meyer did, and so a lot of people are saying, well, this isn't Urban Meyer's team anymore. It's Ryan Day's, and so that's one of the reasons why Ohio State will just go out here and they'll just blow them out. And so I don't know if I entirely agree with that or disagree with that. I just wanted to make that point. All the focus right now has been on this first game. Ryan Day made his point that they are focusing on Minnesota. He's clearly stated that they're focused on this first game. They're ready to get back. They are all good to go. They're going to play hard. They're going to play tough. They are going to go out there and give it their all. While that's all and good, that Ryan Day is saying that, hopefully the players buying into that. It's a question of, does these players have do they buy in to Ohio State? Do they buy into, we are ready for this first game? Are they focused on, we need to focus on this first game against Minnesota? And so it's a question that has to be answered if Ohio State wants to win tonight. There are several questions with Ohio State this year, and many people are saying that, well, we don't really have any questions. Ohio State can go out there and beat every Big Ten team in Oregon. They could win the Big Ten championship. Really, all you have to worry about is once we get in the playoff. And so the question is that is Ohio State actually that good enough to where if there was a question or two, could Ohio State still get to that point where they could win all the games? Maybe. A lot of people saying, well, what about quarterback? Well, we already have C.J. Stroud, and the other three people can go to basically any other Big Ten team and take the starting job if they absolutely wanted. And then, running back. Oh yeah, we got talent there. And T will be good this year and all that. Offensive line, we never had a problem with the offensive line. And what about defensive line? How about the fact that we don't have the explosive guy, or at least we don't know who the explosive guy will be? We've had Bosa, we've had Young. Ohio State has been absolutely been great at defensive line. So who will become that person, and does it take that to become a good team? And then on top of that, is our secondary good? Do we have pass defense? Do we have running defense? And a lot of people point out, well, Ohio State recruits better than anyone, except for maybe Alabama, and then you may get Clemson once in a while that recruits better. But except for that, Ohio State is always top 3, top 5 recruiting team. And even though they don't, they get transfers that make the team a top 5 team every year. So Ohio State doesn't need to answer these questions right now, and that Ohio State should absolutely go out there and blow this team out. So what are the chances? Well, right now, I have my thing as a 21-point game. Vegas has Ohio State 14.5, which says that Ohio State will score just over 2 touchdowns more than Minnesota. So while some people think that Ohio State's going to blow them out, Vegas is saying it's a 2-score game. And then you got another side that's saying this is upset material worthy. That you got a lot of these questions for Ohio State, and Minnesota's coming back looking really good. And so I think that Minnesota has a chance. Don't underestimate. I mean, look at what happened so many times when we underestimate teams. Either that is in the playoffs or in the regular season games, Big Ten or not. A lot of those things do end up coming back on us, on Ohio State. So I give Minnesota a 35% chance of winning. I think that if Minnesota scores a few times and they get ahead by 2 or 3 scores by the end of the first quarter, then we need to pay attention to make sure that to watch and see, because if Ohio State can't stop them on defense and they are trying to film out on offense, the offense will end up getting behind, and now talking about Minnesota being up 2 or 3 scores, and maybe they're up by a score or 2 at halftime. But that would be really bad for Ohio State. So just things to watch out for tonight, and hopefully you guys like this video. I've kind of rambled on, and I definitely have stopped talking and had a few seconds of silence here and there, but I just wanted to focus up on what this game is, and I'm excited to come back and talk about Ohio State football for a full season. We aren't talking about a 7-game season. We're talking about a full 12 games plus a Big Ten championship possibly, and playoffs, possibly. So, I think that Ohio State, this game, they're on upset just a little bit, but I would definitely pay attention to that first and second quarter, and possibly the third, to see if Minnesota can possibly do anything. Anyway, like and subscribe, and we will see you guys later.